welcome to Mostly Sapphic Books, where I am on a mission to read and review every single book about lesbians. Today I have a new camera, so if it looks weird or it sounds weird, I'll figure it out. This is my first test run with this camera. I've never had a camera before. I don't know what I'm doing, but I do know what I just read. I just read Hollow by about 10 people according to the Goodreads page. Let me read this. It was written by Shannon Watters and Brandon Boyer-White. This is a graphic novel, a YA supernatural graphic novel. I've never read any of these authors before. Brandon Boyer-White, this is his debut, and then Shannon Watters I've sort of read before, but not really. She is listed as a co-creator for Lumberjanes, which I only read the first volume of and didn't like because it wasn't a very good start to a series. But she didn't write the first volume, someone else did. She wrote some of the later volumes, I don't know. This is feeling very much like a Cat Lay situation, where I actually didn't read Cat Lay's books because I knew she was a writer on Lumberjanes and I didn't like Lumberjanes, but it turns out she hadn't written on the volume of Lumberjanes that I didn't like, and that her books are really, really good. And this was also pretty good. Not as good as Cat Lay's books, but I really like this anyway. This was like a good 4-star read. And I will say that Lumberjanes had a good premise of like a bunch of queer kids at a supernatural camp. That sounds cool. I just thought the first volume wasn't well executed, especially as the pilot of a series. I don't know why I said pilot like it's a TV show. It kind of read like a TV show for children. Anyway, this doesn't read like it's for children. This reads like it's for teenagers, and it's about teenagers, unlike Lumberjanes, which is about teenagers, but reads like it's for 9-year-olds. But this is like a Sleepy Hollow retelling. It's not a retelling, I don't think. I haven't read Sleepy Hollow. I did see the movie, like, forever ago. Don't ask me what happens, I don't know. But if you do know what happens in Sleepy Hollow, I think you'll really appreciate this. There's a lot of references to it. You don't need to understand them, but there's probably little details that I'm missing not knowing the source text. But it's literally mentioned quite a lot. So this takes place in the town where Sleepy Hollow takes place. One of the main characters is Vicky Van Tassel, who's a descendant of the Van Tassels, who are in the book. They're the love interest lady? The girl in the book? I don't know. I don't remember. So Vicky Van Tassel, she's pretty cool. She's not the main character, but she's fed up with being a Van Tassel, and the town expects her to like play this role. So it takes place in the town of Sleepy Hollow, wherever that is. Is it Sleepy Hollow? Is that the name of the town? Don't come for me. So she does all of these like press events and stuff for the town and tourism. It's a big like tourist trap kind of thing. Not really, but that's what they're known for, and they know that, and they really value that history and that story. And you know, the library owns like all the old original copies, whatever. It's the Sleepy Hollow town. And Vicky doesn't really like that this is like all she's expected to do. She wants to be her own person and not have this family legacy forever. So she's kind of funny. In every scene you'll see her in a different style of outfit. Like one day she'll be goth, and one day she'll be like preppy, and one day she'll just be in like sweatpants or like lesbian plaid. And she's like trying to find her style because she doesn't know who she is. That's like a cool detail. There's a lot of like cool details in this. Another side character is Croc. He's like a golden retriever jock type of guy. He's really funny. He's like a good guy. You'd think he could be like sort of one of the minor antagonists of this, but he's not. He's like the best friend. He's into Vicky, but he doesn't really mind when Vicky gets with the actual main character, whose name is Isabel Crane. I believe the name Crane is also a reference to the book. There's someone in the book with the last name Crane, and is a descendant of them, maybe? Maybe not. Whatever. She's the new girl in town. She's like a nerdy butch lesbian, and she's like really smart and academic. And she doesn't believe in the Sleepy Hollow legend because everyone believes that there's ghosts, like the Headless Horseman still roams the town. And she's like, that's nonsense. And of course the whole town is like, it's not nonsense. That's our identity. That's our history. And spoiler alert, it turns out that there actually is a Headless Horseman ghost. And he's not the villain. Everyone expects him to be the villain. Everyone's kind of scared of him. but he actually is just there to protect the Van Tassel line. There is an evil force trying to stop them and like kill all of the firstborn Van Tassel children. And the Headless Horseman was like the lost lover, the dead lover of one of the Van Tassel women or something. I don't know. But anyway, he's gonna protect the family line. And so this is a little mystery story. It's like a Scooby-Doo gang mystery of this butch lesbian and her femme girlfriend and her, jock boy best friend, and they're all gonna stop evil. So I like it. It's a good premise. It's a pretty classic YA mystery. It's pretty well done. I really like the colors of the graphic novel. I think this is really pretty. I liked the art styles. I liked the character designs. Again, I really liked this main character just because she looked cool. She was like a cool butch. And I really like the three of them together. They have a really good like friendship dynamic. And the use of color in this is really nice. It's a full color graphic novel. I've been reading a few graphic novels lately and the other ones like haven't been full color. And it is really nice to have full color in a graphic novel. I'm very much a fan of colors and brightness, and I love the pictures. I like looking at the images in a graphic novel. That's so much of the experience. And sometimes you can pull off a graphic novel that's just in black and white or that uses color sparingly, but it kind of comes across as lazy when there isn't color sometimes and there isn't like a clear thematic use of lack of color. It just feels like they didn't want to hire like 15 colorists like this book had. So shout out to all the 15 colorists that I didn't name, but you guys did a good job. There are some parts of this that feel a little bit lazy. I've said this before, you'll notice this a lot in graphic novels where some of the panels will have like full background and then some of the panels will be like just blue. Just a solid color background, and sometimes this is used intentionally. Like it can be for emotional expression or like the way the world zooms in and everything else sort of falls away. Like there's moments where these love interests look at each other and if the background fades away, it's sort of metaphorical for how they're the only two people in the world and nothing else around them matters. Things like that do work, and they are used like that in this book sometimes, but also sometimes the backgrounds just, it feels like a way to cut corners, save a little bit of time. Which I mean, I don't blame artists for doing that. I'm not an artist, but I can imagine drawing a whole book would be extensive and like labor intensive. And so like if you could get away with just not drawing some dumb little details in the background, then you might take it. I see it, but I just really enjoy books that really go into detail. My favorite graphic novel series of all time, Grand Slam Romance. Once again, a video has evolved into talking about Grand Slam Romance. But in this, just like all of the pages, full color, very sparing use of like those just solid color backgrounds. So much detail in this. These are great to like reread and you'll always notice something new happening in the background, just like some funny little detail. But anyway, that's Grand Slam Romance. This is Hollow. So I wouldn't call this like the perfect art style, but what book is really a perfect art style? That's very subjective. I did enjoy the art for the most part. Although, like, there's also like some scenes where Victoria's room, there's like things on her wall, but none of the details are filled in, so it just looks like she has a bunch of fucking pieces of paper on her wall, which is low-key hilarious. Like, what a fucking serial killer move. But like, it's supposed to be like pictures or posters or whatever, but the details aren't there, so if you just really take it at face value, it's like, why did that bitch hang a bunch of paper all over her walls? Like, what is wrong with her? So that's where that can kind of get you into trouble if you don't suspend your disbelief. But, I mean, you do. I'm just overanalyzing it. It's a good book. I liked looking at it. I liked these character designs especially. I liked their little character quirks. I liked that Isabel was like really nerdy and like organized and was like researching everything. And I liked that Victoria had all these different outfits and didn't know herself and was trying all these things out. And not even like drawing attention to it. It's not even mentioned every single time. It's just like a facet of her character, which is really unique and interesting. And then I liked Croc. He's like a funny jokester, comedic dude. So this is a fun book. It's very YA. It's not like grand deep philosophical literature, but it's just a fun, like, Halloween story. I would recommend this for, like, a queer Halloween read, especially for teens or, like, new adult or kids. I mean, it's fine, whatever. Whoever. 72-year-old women specifically, not 71-year-olds, not 73-year-olds, 72-year-olds specifically. Why not? This is book 1 in a series, and the second book is not out yet. It actually took a while for the second book to get here. This first book came out in 2022, and the second book is coming out this year. I don't know that this needed a second volume. I don't think it's like a direct continuation. I mean, it is, because it's gonna have these 3 characters, but I think they're investigating another mystery. Looks like some ghost lady. Maybe that's also like the ghost of the lady from Sleepy Hollow. I don't know if that's a thing, but I would be interested in reading that. I think I'll like it. I don't think this needed a sequel, like I said, but interesting nonetheless. Yeah, I had a good time with this one. Not a lot to say, but like,